How you doing? Just a short update on how we're doing today. Just doing some warm-ups on incline bench press here, and just to let you know where we're at. It's been a couple of weeks. Lots changed. I've been doing a lot of reading, a lot of soul searching, a lot of changes within myself, and I'm doing it all on my own. No help from any doctors or anybody else, just books. So at the moment I'm working with two different things. I don't know if I let you know before, but we've got the 5 rings. So that's by Masashi. Very good book, very, very good. It's a book about ancient warfare with swords, but the way he talks with how to beat your enemy, how to learn your enemy's moves, how to study your enemy, how to know your enemy, how to never give up, how to not draw a fight out, that a fight should be your attacker will make a move towards you, you'll defend and counter move, and that should be the fight over. And all of that really applies to beating depression on your own, without any drugs, without any counsellors, without any help. You've got to learn your depression. You've got to learn how it moves, what it does when you're about to get depressed, how it feels. I've really found it really helpful, because I've just, as I read it, I put it into place as to the enemy is depression, and it's really, really terrific. And then the other book I'm reading at the moment, which would seem like the exact opposite, is Taoism or Taoism. Sometimes it's got a T, sometimes it's got a D. That's more about letting the universe or God or whatever you like to say is in charge do what it needs to do in its own time, rather than try to push everything, make everything happen. And it's also about how to be one with nature, let nature teach you, and how to do without doing, which seems like a contradiction, but sometimes to get things done you actually have to do nothing and let them get done on their own. Like if it's raining, how do you stop the rain? No matter how much effort you put in, you won't stop the rain. You've just got to wait for the rain to stop on its own. So you can save all that energy as trying to fight the rain and let the rain do itself. So that's do without doing. Another analogy I thought was quite good. It's not mine, somebody else said it. But if it applies to depression. If you get a cow, we'll say a cow, it could be a steer, it could be a heifer, it could be whatever, any type of cattle, but you get a cow and then you put it in a very small stable, very small, that would be like a cell, a prison, and it won't take long and that cow will become depressed. It won't want to move, won't want to interact, won't want to eat. It's all on its own. It's in a cell where it can't see sunlight, it can't get out and eat grass, it's just hay or whatever, oats, whatever you feed them in a stall, and that cow will become depressed. And then the next step is you could let that cow go out into a rather large paddock where it can be a cow, but there's no other cattle in that fenced off area. There's no other cattle that it can see. There's no other cattle that it can interact with, and it will be, instead of depressed, it would just be unhappy, because it is free, but it's not being a cow, if you like. It's not being as nature intended it to be. So then if you introduce other cattle, or even it works with goats and pigs and dogs, but horse, you introduce another animal into there, and then it has something to interact with, and the depression's gone, the unhappiness is gone, and it's happy again, because it's a cow being a cow. And that's what we are. We're human beings, so we need to be human. And being human isn't being depressed. You know that, I know that. You look around and you envy everybody who doesn't suffer from depression. So the cow didn't do anything to make all this happen. It didn't introduce other cattle to the yard where it was free. But once all those things had taken place in their own time, the cow became happy. It became a cow. It did cow things, you know. It ate grass, it mooed, it wandered around, it interacted with other cattle, and that's you and I. So the first thing you have to do is get yourself out of the depression prison, which is a dark place where you don't want to interact with anybody. It's virtually just a prison, and you know that, I know that. Anybody who suffers from depression knows that. And then you have to try to find a bigger world to live in. You mightn't be ready to let people in and interact with them, but you need to find a bigger world than your prison. And I found if you take on the things that are in the 5 rings, where he talks about being a warrior and how a warrior wins fights and how a warrior studies its enemy, then you will get yourself into a bigger paddock. And then once you start interacting with other people who don't have depression, and be like those other people who don't have depression, study them and how they find happiness in things that you don't find happiness in, then you're on your way. But as in the book of Taoism here, as it teaches, it's don't try to make things happen. Know what you want to happen. Think about what you want to happen. Look for opportunities where that will happen. But don't try to force things. It will happen in its own time, as long as that's what's your purpose, is getting out of depression, is getting into a bigger paddock, meeting other people who aren't depressed, completely altering your life. Don't try to make it happen. Look for opportunities where you can step forward and out of the prison. Don't try to break out of the prison by smashing on the doors. Wait till the doors are open. Wait for an opportunity to come where you can get out. Because with you and with me, the more we try to fight depression, the more depression gets a hold of us. Because depression is a struggle. So the more we struggle, the worse it gets, like quicksand. So that's where I'm at the moment. I've really made some great headway. I'm feeling great, really have. Anytime I start feeling angry or feeling sad or depressed or anything, I notice that my enemy is catching up to me, and then I counter move. So you have to study your enemy, know your counter moves. So you'll, that's where the 5 rings comes in. You read that book, it's got nothing to do with depression, but if you read it and think about depression as your enemy, all the answers are there. They always were. For you and for I, the answers were always there. We just had to wait for the opportunity. And yeah, I'm still doing Tai Chi. That's great for relaxing my mind and just going with the flow. I don't know if I'm back in the stream, moving with the stream as I said I wanted to. I think I'm finding myself first and then I'll flow with the stream. But I have made a lot of changes. I'm actually looking forward to the rest of my life. I've started looking into investments and the stock market and investment accounts and things like that. I'm putting a lot of money aside and moving money into different accounts. So for the first time probably in my entire life, I'm actually looking forward to the rest of it, making decisions on how I can make it more enjoyable. So I've definitely made some great headway. I'm very happy with myself and what I've done. So I offer you all the best with your struggles. And the way I'm doing it may not be the answer for you, but the answer is there if you look and you listen and you take time and wait for the opportunity. So thanks again. Be the light to somebody else's darkness, or if you can't, let somebody else be the light to your darkness.